Here's Toby and Maggie. My name's Bill. We're going to talk to you about, I don't know, the state of the world, man. Yeah, you keep hearing this statistic. Actually, it's two things, but the statistic you keep hearing, this is mind-boggling to me. 66% of Americans, 2/3 of Americans, are one paycheck away from not being able to meet their basic needs. Like if they get sick, they go to the hospital and they don't stop. All right, let's try again. Maybe Toby will let me talk. Anyway, mind-boggling. 66% of Americans could not pay their bills if they missed work for a week. I don't even know what to say to that. Honest to God, I don't. The other thing that's just blowing my mind is 35% of Americans are using their credit card to buy groceries. Not their bank debit card. They are going into debt to buy groceries. So, 1/3 of Americans are buying groceries, basic food items, on credit, okay? So, month due, payment due, plus interest. And 2/3 of Americans, if they were to miss work for one paycheck period, they would not be able to cover all their expenses. I don't even know. I do not know. And I'm telling you, and I'm not being political on this. I'm not choosing sides because I don't think it makes a damn bit of difference whether we have Democrats or Republicans in Congress. If you think your representatives are fighting for you, you need to wake up. Please wake up. They're fighting for their donors. There is maybe a handful of senators and Congress people who have your welfare at heart. You have got to do something. Let me take you back in time, and I know you hate it when old timers tell you how things were. And some of you may think that we exaggerate when we do this. I'm not exaggerating one bit. I know damn well that what I'm about to tell you is true. We just came up on the first of the year. Big layoffs in most of the major corporations. Why? Because their bottom line at tax time looks better. Okay, for their bottom line. We've been doing this now for, I'm going to say, a couple decades at least. You know, December rolls around and there's layoffs just before Christmas time. So who gets screwed there? You know, the workers, the warehouse people, the truck drivers, people that pick the orders, the people that serve you across the counter. They're the ones getting screwed at Christmas time. At Christmas time. Do you really think the corporations care about you? Let me take you back in time. There was such a thing as job security and employment loyalty back in the 50s, 60s, for the most part the 70s. Employers wouldn't lay people off for just the bottom line dollar figure. If they hired someone, it was because they had a need for extra employment. Okay? To meet their needs as a company, they needed that employer. If sales dropped, they didn't lay anybody off. They worked harder to get sales to increase again. They devised business strategies to improve their sales. They didn't lay people off. If they had to get rid of employment, they would wait for somebody to just retire. There was always someone retiring, and then, you know, if you've got a company of 20 people and one person retires, Well, that's going to help your bottom line, but you're not firing them. You're not laying them off and saying thanks for the memories. You wait till they retire. It never used to be done. We were all paid a livable wage, guys. And I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of hearing that corporations can't pay a livable wage. I was paid $10 an hour my first job as a Teamster at the age of 18. $10 an hour was the equivalent of 70 today. 70 an hour. I was able to buy a house. I had the money to buy a house by the time I was 20. And not to struggle with the house payment. Okay? I had the money to pay cash for a new car. I did it a couple times. Cash. I didn't need credit. I didn't need a bank loan. I was making a livable wage. And the companies were doing fine. And the argument is always, we cannot afford, this is what the companies will say, we can't afford to pay those kind of wages. We'll have to lay people off because we're gonna lose money if we're paying those kind of wages. And it's bullshit. I'm sorry for the language, guys. It's bullshit. You pay people a livable wage and they will spend the money on your products. They do it every time. Companies don't go under by paying a good wage. Their sales increase and they can afford to pay a good wage. Tell you what, if you're waiting for trickle-down economics, well, we've been waiting now for 40 plus years. It ain't happening. It is not happening. So here's my question to you. If you're one of the 66% who is one, don't even get me started on healthcare. If you're one of the 66% who is one paycheck away from not knowing how you're going to make your house payment or pay rent, if you're one of them, what are you going to do about it? If you're one of the millions of people who do not have adequate health care, and I'm talking about, I just had my laser surgery on both eyes. I had that covered. It cost me $500. It would have been $22,000. Okay, $500. If you're one of the millions of Americans who don't have adequate eye care, if you're one of the millions of Americans who don't have adequate dental, what are you going to do? Are you seriously waiting for corporations to grow a conscience? Are you seriously waiting for Congress to help you in a noticeable way? Or are you taking steps to protect yourself in the future? And that's what this is all about. You have got to take the steps to make things better. You cannot wait for corporations or government or social programs that are handouts. You can't wait for that. You have to act responsibly and get yourself in a position where you're protected. Okay? Now I know. There's a percentage of you watching this who cannot do that. You, for whatever reason, you're incapable of starting your own business or whatever. Okay? I understand there are people who are in serious financial straits, and there may not be any way out other than public assistance and handouts. I'm just a guy I know who's at the farm school where I am caretaker. He just quit his job. Now, he was making okay money, but it wasn't meeting his bills. And he just quit because, and I said, what are you going to do? And he said, well, I just figured it's about time that I start my own business and do what I've always wanted to do. He said, I figure within a couple months I can make what I'm making here. And then the longer I'm established, I'm saying hi to Numi, the longer I'm established, the more money I'll start making. At least he said, I'm in control of my future that way. Bravo. Bravo. You got to start thinking about this. Do you have a lawnmower? Start thinking about starting your own lawn mowing business. I don't know. Do you have tools? Start thinking about being a handyman and fixing small things. You know, go around the neighborhood. There's a lot of retirees. Baby boomers are getting so old, and me included, that they can't do their repairs and they can't afford to pay a licensed repairman. You become the repairman. Do car detailing, do dog walking, do something. 15 years ago, I quit my teaching job and declared to the world that I was a freelance writer. Today, I make a nice side income just doing freelance writing. And actually, I got my first gig within a month of doing that. There's a young couple here on the farm that are leaving after having been here for, I don't know, they've been here maybe 2 years now. They're getting in the car, they're driving down to, I think, New Orleans, and then they're gonna start a tour. They put together their own half-hour musical event. They bought some merch with the money they made here on the farm, and they're gonna go on tour. They're gonna perfect their 30-minute act, and then they're going overseas to do their musical act in Japan and Korea, South Korea. Bravo. I say bravo. Bravo, bravo, bravo. There are more and more people who are doing what my wife and I did, selling their house and saying screw it. They're living in an RV, they're living in a van, they're I don't know, finding caretaking jobs like I found. But they're getting out from under, hold on, Maggie, come on, come on. Sit down and brainstorm what you can do to make things better. Don't just sit in front of the TV and watch Wheel of Fortune. Your number ain't coming up. There's 350 million people in the United States, and just one of them wins Wheel of Fortune every night. Your number ain't coming up. Don't buy lotto tickets and say my ship's about to come in. Your ship sunk, or it's at least taken on water. Stop. Find, oh my God, stop. Just sit down and think about living a simpler lifestyle. Think about minimalism. Think about intentional living, and stop doing what you're doing. Definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. You're not going to get different results. Okay? The system is stacked against you. You are playing you're playing a game you can't win. Cannot win. The year is 2025. It is not 1965. You cannot. Jesus. 66%. If you get sick, you're in the hospital for 2 weeks, you have a bill of $60,000. What are you going to do? Listen, guys, thanks for watching. I really hope you figure it out. I really do. Good luck to all of you. God bless all of you. Bye. And before I forget, like and subscribe. Hit the share button if you feel like it's worth it. And you can find me on Patreon under As We Wonder. $3 a month would mean the world to me. Doesn't seem like much, but you know, less than a cup of coffee or less than a mocha, which I'm sure a lot of you go out and spend money on every day. What do they cost now? $6.50? Yeah, per day. Okay, do the math. 30 days, $180 spent on coffee. Just saying. Like and subscribe. Bye.